Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Dragonheir Selling Gods video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you my poison team against the final boss, the Mekkatorque, and it's not using any exclusive legendaries, and the cool thing is, it's actually only using one single support, and it's a pretty fun team. Now, the team's not going to survive all the way. Honestly, it's so hard to survive all the way, but still, I'm doing over 400 million damage, so let me show you the team. Just a quick intervention this one, because, I already recorded the full video of the team, and I kind of realized I forgot to upgrade a ton of my elemental affinities. So with upgrading those, I got myself to 631 million. This is insane damage. Let me show you again what I upgraded, right? This might go in at the end of the video, but there we go. I kind of maxed this one out, I realized I was missing a ton of attack, right? I was missing a ton of stuff, and that's why I guess my damage was so low. And before we jump in the video, as always, I do want to mention that if you want to support me as a content creator, you can use code OddOne that you see over there at the top. Capital O's on both of them. You can find the link to use that in the over here behind me, bonus event. You click on that one, then you go over here to the link that says link to creators and claim rewards. You put code OddOne over here, right? Capital O's, link, and then it's going to give you these rewards instantly. Plus, you should be getting yourself a Healer Light, War Martyr, and some other free stuff in the inbox as soon as you link, right? Just nothing else to do, just do that, and you support me, you get some free stuff. The way that it works is if you do decide to spend, I get like 2% out of what you spent on as part of their content creator program. So if you do support, appreciate it. But let's have a look at the team, and it's rough. It kind of feels like the boss hits so much harder, considering the fact that I've pretty much almost everything maxed out, right? I just the damage resistance, I'm not quite maxed for this team specifically, but most of the stuff are almost maxed, and the boss still hits like a truck and kills us. Now, the team that I'm using is a bit quirky, a bit interesting, and it's still trying to min-max it as much as I can, at least for now, right, for the initial testing. The damage that I do with all the stats, with all the gear sets and whatnot. So the team's using Twitch, it's using Durango, Korin, Vikana, and then we have Ogok as the solo support. Now, I already did a mistake. Let me restart it because there's something quirky that I'm doing with this team in order to, again, try to min-max the damage as much as possible. The first thing that I do is I need to use Korin's ultimate as soon as possible for the first round so that he lands that Crown of the Unclean, so we get that extra misstep on the boss. Then I have to wait for the one full rotation to come, and then after the 3 DPS do their ults, so we're gonna have Vikana, Durango, Twitch, then we can start Korin, and then we can let him go and do his ultimate every 30 seconds, like I'm gonna show you in the skill timings. But I've kind of tried a little bit of everything with, different artifacts, different builds, different damage dealer priorities, and it just kind of seems like the best way to go is to have Vikana as the main DPS, right? Now, I've tried, like I said, I tried the exclusive artifacts for poison, I tried the other stuff, pretty much most of the stuff that I tested and tried, it got to this result, which I think it was exactly the same thing that Scratch had, where Twitch has a quirky legendary artifact that seems to work best for the sake of this team. But the reality is, you see that she does a ton of damage, you see that we survive pretty well with certain skill timings, with certain stuff. It's not ideal, it's not a perfect team. I think I did like 430 million. I'm not sure if I can push this further without having to drop one more of the DPS. It's just, the boss hits too hard. I'm kind of trying to give the best possible survivability to the team with the, using the tidal surge for the shields, using the other stuff, and also when it comes to the artifacts, I kind of tried to give, again, the most survivability that I could, especially from Ogok, that brings the attack penalty on his battle skill. That can be extremely helpful. However, it's not ideal, as you cannot really time that, right? The only thing that you can try and do, the only thing that I tried to do is give Ogok as much skill haste as possible, right? And then give him enough accuracy to land his debuffs, give him enough resistance so that he doesn't get the, recharge speed penalty, land on him, and that way he's gonna go on a little bit of a slow rotation. And then you see we didn't have the attack penalty, therefore we died. Now, something else that I could try and do in here is maybe try and drop off a little bit of the attack and enlightenment from the team and get more HP and defense, but still, you kind of see that we get to the point where we just straight up die. Or maybe I can try and drop some, like a set, for example, I have on Corin the Whisper of the Consumer, no, Whisper of the Consumer, Cereal's Whisper, or something like that. I could try and drop that and maybe give him the set that puts another debuff on the boss, and maybe give Ogok the Ancestral Protection, right? Try and squeeze, see if I can survive some more. But you see, 442 million damage in like with 2 minutes to go, but at around 3-minute mark you saw that most of the people died. Still, I'm pretty happy with this considering I don't have that many inspirations. My main damage dealer Vikana is base, right? And then Twitch does some stuff, but I think it's a pretty decent amount of damage. Now, the aura that I used is resist. You can use accuracy, whichever one you see that works best. Still gonna have that 3% chance that you get resisted. That's gonna be annoying. Just keep in mind, make sure before you let it go in the rotation, make sure you use the ultimate with Corin once before Durango goes, so he can land the Crown of the Unclean defense penalty, the low level one, and that way you're gonna activate, like I said, the boss's misstep, where you take more 10% more damage. You saw that we had like 6 stacks, that's 60% more damage that the boss takes. And then I also have another quirky thing in the team. I have this fight poison with poison on Twitch, even though he's in a damage build. I gave him this one so that he can reflect one of those recharge speed penalties on the boss, so that's another one. Without these two, right, without the Crown of the Unclean and then this reflection, I would be at 40% damage negation. So having these two things gave me 20% more damage, and honestly, I think it was worth it. It's, you know, it worked for me. 442 million, again, considering there's no premium legendaries and stuff, I'm pretty happy with. Now, skill timings. You're gonna see that the 4 poisoners are gonna be on a 30 recast time, right? Then you're gonna have Vikana go first at 12. Then you should have 12.1 Durango, 12.2 Twitch, and then Corin is gonna be at, like, you know, afterwards. But like I said, it doesn't matter the first cast because you wanna do that first ultimate manually with Corin before you make him go after everybody else. Then when it comes to Ogok, I kind of tried different things. Around 21 seemed to be the right spot. For his ultimate, I tried to leave him full YOLO, but with having as much skill haste as I could try and push on him, 21 seems to be the soft spot. But obviously play around with this, because it might be a completely, you know, it might be a completely different story for you if you have more or less skill haste than me. Just play around with the ticks, go up, go down, see what allows you to survive. With the stats and with the bonus, right, from the 5 elemental affinity stuff that I have, if you have similar and you see that at the, you know, 4 or 5 minute mark, then you might need to swap some things. But let's go and have a look at the talents. Honestly, the talents have not changed, I think, since the Chief challenges. So Twitch is running these ones, then Vikana, same thing. Ogok, a little bit of this. I kind of gave Ogok, again, enhanced protection with a mythic piece of gear that gives us more damage if we have shields. So every second healing he does, put some shields, we gain more damage. That should be helpful. And then I kind of gave him this one to try and get ourselves a little bit more ultimate energy to try and keep him on that 15-second recharge time, right? Because I kind of want to do those ultimates at the right time. So this is really important. Then Durango, I kind of went like this, and then over here at the bottom, and then Corin, kind of like something similar. Let me see if I did. Okay, I still had Corin as I'm supposed to, but let's check the builds. So first of all, Corin is going to be built, honestly, mostly you care about having accuracy and resist on him. That's it, right? Accuracy to land the Crown of the Unclean and some of his poisons, and then resistance so that he kind of can be another one of those that boosts Ogok's ultimate energy whenever he resists that debuff from the mechanical balls or whatever the hell they are. Whenever they explode, they can reach our speed penalty, so you can get yourself to resist that, and that's going to boost more ultimate energy. So maybe accuracy is a little bit on the lower side. I don't really need this anymore, right? I don't need fight poison with poison anymore because I have that on Twitch. So I should go and give myself one of these with some accuracy. That's maybe one of the premium stuff, because honestly, it doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't really matter if it's a mythic piece. He doesn't bring that much. All he does is activate the poisons with this and you're good to go. So maybe I could go like this or something. Maybe it gives me more accuracy. I don't know. I'll just have a look at it, see whatever makes more sense. Maybe just change this and that's it. And then he's going to be running Emissary's Whisper, not Cyril's Whisper. I keep confusing them because Cyril's Whisper used to be a set like this. But give him this one so that every time he lands a debuff, he boosts the damage of all your team. But like I mentioned, if you struggle surviving, and I might test that some more, I might put the Frost Taint on Corrin so that he can land a frozen extra debuff on the boss, and then I would put Ancestral Protection on Ogok and see how that goes. But let's move on to the next ones. We're going to be having Durango in a Death Record Glove. You want to try and get him some crit rate because he does some quirky stuff in his set with crit rate. You want to give him accuracy, resist, and honestly, he's not going to be doing that much damage. He's just in there to resist debuffs, to land debuffs, and then also bring us the debuff from the Death Record, right? If you have this on one of your poisoners, you should be fine. You don't need to have it on every single one. So I chose to give this one on Corrin as he's the main enabler. That's all he does in there. He also has Witch's Remains, and then he is in the Brotherhood Spirit, so that whenever he casts the ult, we do more damage. Next one, we will have Ogok. Like I said, I tried to focus as much skill haste as I could, but at the same time try and keep high resist, try and keep high accuracy. It was a bit tough, right? Like over here, you see, maybe I'm a bit overkill on the resistance, so maybe I could try and swap this and give myself like this piece and gives me a little bit more skill haste. I don't know. I could try this, but that's the point. Trying to give as much skill haste as possible. You can try and get the ultimate as close to 15-second recharge as possible. But you could try and go with the Puppeteer on him, but at the same time you're gonna lose this set, so I'm not sure if it's really worth it. You can play around, right? This is just what I got to at this point. And I also gave him Devout Prayer because, like I said, pair this with a talent that puts shields. Every second healing he does is gonna give you more damage. Gave him the Rift Hourglass, as this one gives me 100 skill haste. I tried with the Gatekeeper staff to also give myself a few shields, but it just did not work well enough, right? It didn't work well enough. The Rift Hourglass for me was better because it also gives me accuracy, right? This one gives me defense and skill haste. This one I already gave, already get 100 skill haste from the effect, so it gets me to 143 skill haste. So, again, see what works for you, see what works for you. Then our main damage dealer, Vikana, gave her the Queen's Fan. I tried the Statue of the Serpent Deity. I tried Rikir's Boomerang. Just this one was the best, right? This one ended up being the best for her, as most of her damage is basically the derivative damage, so this was just fine. I gave her a Fearless Challenge piece, a Skyfire Sun, a Imposing Presence, and then obviously Strike the Unprepared, right? I reset this because this was Ascended, right? Or whatever it's called, what's it called again? Yeah, Ascended. Was Ascended to Fire. I said, you know what? Let me reset it. Let me give it Poison because I'm kind of gonna be using this more than I'm using Flora. So might as well. Then I had Enlightenment over here and then Accuracy over here. Honestly, actually don't really think I need Accuracy on her. So maybe that's a little bit of a mistake. Because I think your main goal for her is to do damage with her ultimate that does derivative damage, not necessarily land those poison. So I guess maybe this is what I should do, right? Maybe I should just reset all of this, put attack 1 with some attack percent, with some enlightenment, maybe that's better, and see if that one's gonna do better. Because with 130 accuracy, I don't think she lands any poisons anyway. But last one in the team, we're gonna have Twitch. I gave Twitch, like I said, the fight poison with poison, so then when he gets that debuff from the magical balls, he puts a recharge speed penalty on the boss, which is gonna make us do more damage. Then gave him Blood Shield Mark on the top pieces, a Skyfire, a Sun, and then obviously Strike the Unprepared. And then, like I mentioned, the artifact, this one, Iluya's Fang, seems to work best because this one increases the wearer's chance of granting or inflicting status with their skills by 20%. What does this mean? This one is gonna give him 20% higher chance of landing poisons. Because if you look at his ultimate, 75% chance to land poisons on the ultimate when fully skilled up, not good enough. On the battle skill, 75% chance, not good enough. And then on the passive, when the enemy is inflicted with poison other than this hero has 20% chance to inflict again dealing poison damage and inflict a stack of poison. So this one goes up to, what's that, 35, 55. So this one just makes most sense overall, right? This one just makes most sense overall as he will inflict more poisons, which means that Vikana will be doing more damage from the mark that she does, right? Because when she puts the mark, each time there's a poison happen, she does a Toxic Blast. It does 105 derivative damage. So she can do a ton of damage. That's why you saw she was the main damage dealer. But that pretty much covers the team. I'm not sure what else I can do to try and push it a lot higher. So for now, you know what? For now, I'm gonna keep it. It is what it is. I'm happy with this. You know, it's the best I got. I'm curious once more people start doing testing. I'm curious once, you know, more people push some stuff. Once I'm gonna do more testing, what's gonna be the, you know, the damage that is gonna come out at the end of this. I noticed like Scratch, I think, did 1 billion. Honestly, just, I don't think I have the gear. I don't have the what's it called, the inspirations for that, I think. So I'm happy with this. You might be in the same position as me, so maybe this video is going to be helpful to you to be able to, you know, tweak around things that you don't have, like other people show. Maybe I can help. But anyway, we're gonna leave it at this for today. Thank you for watching. As always, if you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next. Again, don't forget to support using code OddOne, which you see over there at the top, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.